What's Bitcoin and Litecoin's next move? What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. Today we're going to take a look at Litecoin and our key areas and try to figure out which direction we might be headed. But we're definitely going to take a look at some key areas to watch to kind of give us a clue of where we're going. And we're going to do the same with Bitcoin. So stick around to the end. We're also going to look at that Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart. It's very interesting in seeing how this plays out, and I do believe it's looking like it might play out that way. So definitely stick around to watch that. And also don't forget that we're having another t-shirt giveaway this week. We'll be picking a winner on Sunday. We'll be picking a random day of the week and a random comment. So make sure you comment on the videos all week so you have a chance to win Sunday. Yeah, let's get into the charts. All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind it's still a speculative market, so don't put in more than you're willing to lose. And if you're new here or you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos so you don't miss out on anything. And please smash those likes. Leave your comments down below. Also, with the Bitcoin SV stuff going on, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of that. Are you happy about it, or were you a BS, SV believer? I myself am happy about it, so I'm not too fond of Craig Wright. So anyways, we're going to get into the charts and see where we might be headed. Also, guys, if you haven't already either, down in the description below the video, there's some links in there. One of them is the Discord group, and got a good group of people in there. If you guys want to check it out, just pop on in and say hey. And yeah, so anyways, let's get into the charts. Looking at Litecoin on the daily, and as you can see, I have this high target up here, 179 to 180 area. And reason being, I'm looking at this as a possible cup, and we're forming a handle. And if we were to break through, the measured move off that is right here, would be the neckline, right around $100. And if we take that measured move up to the top, we were to break back out up here, and this end up being the handle. We're looking at the 179 to 180 range. So I'm not totally convinced of that, but it's definitely something to look at and keep in mind. So let's go into the RSI now and look at what's going on here. As you can see in the RSI, it looks like we're breaking down in the daily here. But I do believe we will probably continue back up. If not, and we get resistance on this line and come back down, that's obviously going to be our more bearish scenario, which we'll take a look at both the bearish and the bullish scenario. Now we're going to look at the 4 hour, and looking at the RSI here, we had this kind of falling wedge here that we broke out of, come back down, and I had this symmetrical wedge drawn in with the white lines, and we're getting support off the bottom of that. Bounce back up, maybe come back down, test again, and possibly continue up from there. But like I said, we're going to take a look at the targets and take a look at the areas to keep an eye on. So I'm going to start out, we're on the 4 hour, and what I'm looking at here, my next target up obviously is around the $89 to $90 range, which would be the top of this falling channel here. I moved this line down, and this could be a broadening wedge forming here, which could possibly obviously break down, but there's a possibility of continuing up from here. But I do want to keep an eye on this rising channel here, which we've came and tested the top for support. We broke through. In my opinion, I think this was probably a bear trap, and we're back up in there now, back on top, getting support. Obviously, on this candle here, this may change by the time the video is out, but we look like we're trying to break back down again. So we'll take a look at the targets. If we were to break down from here, I do believe that we come back down and test the bottom of this channel, which would get us around the $70 range. Now I am going to do a measured move of, if we were to break down past that, we would do a measured move of this channel here, which this being the top of the channel, this yellow line being the bottom. And if we were to break down from there, that gets me the target of 51, right around the $51 range. And also, if we do a measured move of this channel and we were to break out, that gets us right to the same area right in here, to $51 to $52 range. Now that's the bearish scenario, guys. First, we would have to break below this $70 range, and then obviously the $65, $66 range. If we're to break down there, then I believe we're headed into the $50 range, guys. But again, I'm still bullish right now up into this area here. And reason being, I've drawn this trend line here, and I believe it's possible we continue up and come up into this area. We look at that 4 hour, that would be right around here, the top of that. So break up, we'll do a measured move. I'm breaking up past out of this channel to the upside, and the measured move on that would be the measured move of this channel here. Move it up here, and that would get us right into that 109 range. And the higher target, the next target I have in there, would be looking at this as a bull flag. It is kind of long compared to the flagpole, but it still is a possibility. And this is just a measured move off this flagpole. Put it up to where, if we were to break out up here, that gets me up to the 129.90 range, somewhere in there, 128 to 130, I'd say. So that's what I'm looking at Litecoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Excuse me. And this is Bitcoin on the daily, and the same thing as in Litecoin. I'm looking at this as a possible cup and a handle forming. Again, guys, it's not guaranteed, just something to look at. And we would do the measured move off the length of the cup to where we broke out, or to where we would break out, which would be up at this neckline. And the neckline on that would be around the $5,500 range, guys. And that would bring us up to the 78.50. And if we look across, that was an old resistance here, support here, support here, support here. So support becomes new resistance, and that would lead me to this being our resistance up here. Again, guys, there's no guarantees. That's something I'm looking at. But obviously we have a lot of ways to go before something like that would happen, and obviously there's going to be a lot of up and down and a lot of movement in there with all the other resistance lines. So I'm going to look at the RSI now. And then the RSI, you can see here on this rising channel that we do have enough room to pop back down a little bit here, which would be the bottom of this line, this trend here, which could be around the 49, right around the 49.20 range. If we break below that, then we're possibly looking at the lower targets, guys. I'm going to go into, let's keep that RSI up. We'll go into the 4 hour and take a look at that. Let me stretch this out a little bit. All right, so in the 4 hour, we have a falling channel. But if we look at these lows, they're lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price action. I do believe we'll probably come up, test the top of this again. And if we break through, if you guys can see, I have a longer rising channel drawn in here. And if we come up, test the top of this, that would get me to my higher target. But let's take a look first at the price action, take a look at our targets. And again, we'll start with the lower targets and how I've gotten them. All right, so I'm looking at, this was the area yesterday. Just to be transparent, I did do a long here, and if you remember the Discord, I did post it in there. I put a long in at 47.80 or 49.80, Obviously, we went a little lower, right around 49.50. But I'm looking at this channel here to hold. If not, this would be the first measured move at 4,700 for me, and that would be measuring the breakdown from looking at this as a channel here. I would move this line down right in this area. But yeah, the measured move off that would be right around the 48.40. Actually, guys, I'm going to change that while I got you on here. I'm going to look at that as the channel. We're going to move this. We're going to move this target up a little bit. And that's going to be around the $4,800 range. So that's the area I'm looking for support if we do break down through here. But also the bigger move down would be the whole measurement of the whole width of this channel. And if we were to bring that down to where if we broke out here, that gets me down to the 43.61 range, which also, guys, would be testing the top of this channel, just like we did in Litecoin. So that's definitely possible. But keep an eye on this area. I believe if we break down past the 49.50 area, you know, then we're looking at these two lower targets. So keep an eye on that. Also, now we'll do the measured move up. And the reason I have this here, the 56, and guys, I have, just to be transparent again, I have my sells at 5,500 on this move, on this long here. I have my stop set at 49. So just to be transparent, let you guys know where I'm at with that. But doing the measured move off this channel for to break up out of it, that's what gets me to the $62 to $6,300 range. And if we look across over here, that is old resistance. Old support become new resistance. So that's looking at that target. And the next one, the $67 to $6,800 range, is a measured move measuring this as a bull flag or flagpole, and measure up if we were to break out there. That's what gets me the $68 range, 67 to 68. And as you can see, it's been resistance for us a lot here, support over here, support over here. So that's what I'm looking at now. I am bullish up to the top of this channel, and then we obviously have to look at the data and see where we're at after that. But I definitely think it's a good possibility we move up from here, guys, to the $5,500 to $5,600 range. And like I said, then we'll check the data and see what happens after that. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin and gold chart. This is gold on the weekly. If you guys haven't been following along, I've drawn trend line from the peak of the all-time high of gold back here in 79. And from the second peak here all the way to where it broke down and across. And once we broke through this, you know, obviously you can see what happened. And look at the similarities of the bottom here compared to what we're having in Bitcoin. And I do believe, I'll probably get a bunch of crap for saying this, but I don't believe in the hyperwave theory, because the resemblance of this to Bitcoin is just it's just amazing. And this would have been considered a hyperwave by whatever theory. And again, guys, I don't believe in that. I think it's a bunch of BS. And talking about the capitulation candle that we have to have for everybody to feel enough pain or whatever, never happened here in gold. There was never a big capitulation candle, just a nice rounded bottom. And if we look at Bitcoin, we're getting the same thing. I've drawn the same thing, the peak from the all-time high, then from the second, and then from each peak I drew to where it broke down at the 6,000. And if you can tell, we'll look at the RSI after this too. That's really interesting also. But each time we hit one of these lines, and obviously see this is a nice rounded bottom just like it was in gold. I do want to show you guys, if you look at each one of these lines that I showed you, I drew from the peak to where we broke down. They've all been resistance, and then when we broke through, they were tested for support. But all these lines resisted, and I had these lines drawn in here before all this happened, guys. The only one that we didn't come back down and test for resistance in the daily is this one here, and that would that would lead me to the possibility of coming back down to test it. But I don't know. I'm not convinced of that yet. This seems to be holding as support once we broke through. And then coming up here would be around the 54.50 range, somewhere in there. And if we get back on top of this one, I believe there's a good chance we stay on top of that, guys. I know everybody is starting to get bearish again, waiting for a big correction. I do believe a correction will be in play, but I don't know that it's going to be that huge, honestly. I guess we have to see as the data comes in what's going to happen. But I believe the absolute worst case scenario, because as you guys know, I do believe this was the total bottom. Worst case scenario that we come back down and test this long-term trend line. I think it's less likely that we do that, but if we came straight down from here today, which is extremely unlikely, but the low would be around the 3570 area, the 3600 area. So that's the lowest I see this going anymore. If we were to drop past this bottom trend line, guys, then I would say that, you know, the people calling this lower lows as the 1200 and whatnot could be possible, 2500 or whatever. But I'd have to see this line break first before I'd even consider that. So that's where we're at with that. Let's go into the RSI now and kind of compare this to the old bull run from 2013. As you can see here, this was the bull run from 2013. This is the bull run from 2017. Then when we look at the bear market, this trend line I have drawn, we got resistance once, came down, went into the oversold, got resistance again, came down a little bit and busted through, and then never looked back on that trend line. Same thing here. Here was the 2017 bull run, 2018 bear, and this is the 6,000 range. We hit this trend line, got rejected, come down into the oversold, back up, got rejected one more time, and then broke through. I don't believe we'll be looking at that again. That's not to say we don't come down and test this line on the RSI, but let's go into the monthly and see what we're looking at here. All right, on the monthly, I've drawn these two arcs here. And this was the bull run of 2013 and then your bear market of 2014. And each low on the RSI I've marked with an arrow. There were 4 lows in there. I did the same in the bear market of 2018. And same thing, 4 lows. Again, guys, that's not to say we don't come back down. We get some kind of correction and, you know, come over and get a bounce off of this arc again. But I do want to say that this arc could be, you know, could be a lot quicker this time. If we're looking at that gold to Bitcoin comparison chart, it could be, you know, this arc could arc up a lot quicker, and we, you know, could see something like that. No guarantees, something to watch for. We just kind of have to watch to see how this plays out. But I did want to point this out to you guys and show you guys this. It's extremely interesting to me. So anyways, don't forget to leave your comment for a chance to win a t-shirt. Also leave your comments down below and let me know what you think of the Bitcoin Cash SV, and tell me what your thoughts are on that, and Craig Wright and everything. I really appreciate it if you did that, and I like to read your guys' comments and know what you think. So again, if you haven't already, click the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes, guys. I want to see at least 100 likes in this video. So also, don't forget to leave your comments. Share the video if you belong to any groups and stuff. I really appreciate it. And come check out our Discord. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.